Maverick Viñales is the only MotoGP rider in history that has won on 3 different bikes. He's won with Suzuki, Yamaha and Aprilia, and he has a chance to break his own record this year with KTM. But how did each of these wins happen? And why might beating his own record with KTM be a little bit harder than you might think? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to explain for you in this video. Alright, let's go. Maverick's first win wasn't easy, but he did manage to get Suzuki out of a near decade-long winless streak. Changing conditions can make any motorsport a lot more interesting, and Silverstone in 2016 was no exception. The changing conditions meant a lot of uncertainty around tyre choice and strategy. But surprisingly, these conditions actually played really well into the hands of the Suzuki. Let me explain. Bikes lay rubber down on the track. More rubber equals more grip. If it rains, that rubber's washed away, so the riders end up with less grip. And in this instance, you need a nice, stable bike, and that's exactly what the Suzuki was. It was planted and very, very easy to ride. It was a little bit down on power compared to the other manufacturers, but in this case, it didn't really matter as much. Maverick qualified 3rd, and by turn 2, he was leading. It was almost a done deal, but a huge crash between Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz coming into Magus and Beckett brought out the red flag, so Maverick had to do it all over again. It wasn't as easy the second time around, but some huge lunges by Maverick coming into Stowe and Abbey put him back in first, and he just disappeared up the road. He finished over 3 seconds in front of Cal Crutchlow, even after backing off coming to the finish line. Now, winning with one manufacturer is impressive. Winning with 2 manufacturers is something else. So how did Maverick manage his second win? Well, in 2017, Maverick signed with Yamaha and came out of the gates on fire. The first round was at Qatar, and Maverick put it on pole and took the win. It wasn't as easy as his first win with the Suzuki. He only won by 0.4 of a second. But not only did he win the first race, he won 2 on the bounce. Maverick was also the first rider since Valentino Rossi that won on his debut with Yamaha. So Maverick won with 2 different bikes. That's impressive. But winning with 3 different manufacturers, that's unheard of. Literally, it hadn't actually happened in the MotoGP era before. After a slightly rocky end to his stint with Yamaha, Maverick moved to Aprilia in 2021. And he didn't quite have that immediate pace. Although there was at least one reason why it took him a little bit longer to get up to speed. Both Yamaha and Suzuki used inline-4 engines. Basically, the pistons are arranged in a line like this. The bike needs a certain riding style, with the aim of carrying corner speed all the way through the corner and having a more open, sweeping line. The Aprilias used V4 engines, which, as you can probably guess, have their pistons arranged in a V shape like this. There's a lot of differences which I won't go into in this video. The riding style of a V4 powered bike is much more pointy. You really need to push the front end into a corner, rotate the bike as quickly as possible, and then get on the throttle as quickly as possible. Almost entirely different to how you would ride an inline 4. Maverick was only on inline 4 bikes before the Aprilia, so having to adapt to this new riding style did take a little bit of time. He did have a couple of podiums, but it wasn't until 2024 where he would take his 3rd manufacturer win. At the start of the America's GP, Maverick got punted down to 11th place. But not only did he manage to work back through the field, he managed to pull a gap to 2nd place. So 3 wins on 3 different bikes. Insane. But trying to break his own record on the KTM may be harder than ever. There's a few things to consider for Maverick's new venture with KTM. First, he has to adapt to a new team all over again. New bike, new aero packages, new everything. He does have the likes of Dani Pedrosa and Pol Espargaro helping him, but it's still quite a lot to learn. The bigger problem is he is part of the most stacked lineup for a long time. A lot of people have their chance to win on their day. Also, check out this comparison from MotoGP. It shows the difference between the team's previous best times at Sepang and their 2025 test times. KTM hasn't exactly moved the needle all that much compared to the likes of Yamaha. I know we can't take it as gospel, but it's still something to compare. So the big question is, what are Maverick's best chances to beat his own record and win with 4 different manufacturers? We know he likes Kota, Portimao, Assen and Silverstone, but he also might surprise us at the opening round. So what do you think? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.